Welcome to the 2 Hour Track Challenge premiere for June 6th, 2019. Um, every week I like to find a couple hours to make a piece of music within this time limit. Really push my creative boundaries in a way, see what I can do while on that time limit. And it also gives me somewhat of a chance to experiment with styles of music um, that aren't part of my bigger projects. Or if I have a new sound library, sometimes I like to use this chance to experiment with that. And sometimes it comes out with pretty cool results. So I like to share the results with, I guess, the world. First on this premiere on Twitch, and I do this live, and then I'll go back and take a look at how I made the track, and figure out a title, make up a quick video, and then um, uh, wait, that's the end. Yeah, just make up a quick video so that I can put it up on YouTube and share it with anybody who's not here tonight. Um, so yeah, June 6th, I made this little oddity. All right. Um, let's take a look at how I made that. The that this the origin of that one is um, I don't know if it was that day or earlier that week. Ben Burns posted a link to this thing here. Soundiron released this strange library called this Bode bucket, and it's like it's a 5 gallon plastic bucket, a wooden 4x4 beam, bass tuners, and cello strings. It's like, who would think of that? But I decided I'd give it a try, and um, I I wanted it to be sort of central to this song, so I started off by just going over to the keyboard and just recording a little line of that. And I think actually, yeah, I did all that at once. I had the idea sort of in my head already that I'd wanted to start off with this thing alone, or mostly alone at least, um, and then have a bass slide in, drums pick it up, um, which of course is right around here, if that wasn't soloed. Um, and so with that in mind, I recorded this, and the boat bucket picks up a little bit in energy, and then of course at the end it slows down again a little bit, which I can't remember if I had planned for the song to really slow down this much. I think I had meant for the song to sort of end. Oh no, I remember what happened here. I missed a couple notes because I was trying to do a melody sort of like this, because I was just going to town on the keyboard at this point. I was trying to do a melody like this, and I kept missing a bunch of notes, so I just went with it and made something a little bit, made it sort of a slowdown for the end of the song. So after that, I can't remember. I dropped in the drums, which is like usual. I used Easy Drummer, which I can open like this. So it starts off with just a sort of hit and the cymbal and a couple other drums, just to introduce the drums, and then it goes into rhythms that I found through the search and the song creator, like I usually do with this. And this is the Pop Rock Basic Kit. Didn't want to go too crazy on this for the drums. I just wanted a basic, good sounding kit. And then I pulled in the bass. Oh yeah, this drum kit. I guess I should mention the ending here. Picked an ending, and actually this ending starts partway through one of these verse pieces. Just because it was so long, and I wanted to keep the whole ending around. But the drums actually stop before the boat bucket stops. The drums kind of slow down right at the same time as the boat bucket slows down its energy, and then it just stays off for the rest. So then I went and recorded the electric bass, and with the electric bass, what I wanted to do here was I wanted it to be a little bit more with it, I guess. No, that's not the term. A little bit more consistent. Because the boat bucket, I just went over to the keyboard and I played whatever the hell I felt like, and whatever the hell I feel like is never right. There are accidentals all over the place for whatever key this is in. I really don't know if I even thought of a key. But before I recorded the bass, I put in these locators just to give myself an idea of where I should where the bass should be. And actually, it was all just C sharp and D sharp. I started with a slide in because I wanted it to be a little bit. Didn't want it to just suddenly start the bass. I wanted it to come in some cool way. But as I was trying to say earlier, and then sidetracked myself. The bass rhythm is a little bit more consistent, so it's as best as I could, because I was really having trouble with this. It stays on the root and then it goes to sort of a 4-5 thing, and then a little bit of a dance at the end before it goes back to the root being C sharp or D sharp. And the dance at the end alternates in styles. So there's where D sharp is. I'll turn this up a little bit. There's a silly little side chain on this track from both the boat bucket and the shakuhachi, which is shakuhachi. No, something I added later. And that's just to make somewhat of a little bit of room, I guess. That's too loud now. Yeah. And the slowdown is actually partway through it. Like there's the little dance at the end, and then it's just holding notes. Just so that the bass is still there, sort of thing. And the bass is the last thing to end. And the last thing I added was the shakuhachi. And this was, again, total chaos. I decided I wanted a shakuhachi because I wanted something weird. I wanted to make a weird combination of sounds. So I put in a shakuhachi. I went over to the keyboard and I just played. I added a little bit in the intro, so the boat bucket didn't feel quite as lonely. But yeah, most of this is just it's just me messing around on the keyboard. I'd made a couple edits in here. The big one was around here. I have this thing panned very far right, and I don't have my right earbud in, so this sounds really weird to me. But the big edit I made, because like there are a few notes that I just completely missed on the keyboard, and I just moved it into place. But when I was playing along, I forgot that there was a slowdown, and I knew that I had wanted the shakuhachi to just continue on, dancing this little melody away, and not care that the rest of the song has slowed down yet. And so I heard the bass slow down. I heard the drums basically stopping, and the boat bucket slowing down. And I just I forgot what I was doing and just played a long note on the shakuhachi and then realized that it's not what I wanted to do. So I started playing a little bit of melody more, and then went back, and this whole what are you doing, Ableton? This whole melody right around here, that whole section there is all basically drawn in by it's this here. That was a held note, and I drew that in by with the mouse, which is something I don't normally do anymore. Normally I prefer going to the keyboard, but this time it was just a sort of thing where I didn't feel like recording another piece and then trying to merge it into this clip. Is that what it's called? So I just made it with the mouse. Yeah, so really this really isn't that tricky of a song, I guess. This one was just sort of me messing around with ideas. We got a bunch of standard effects in here, just some saturator, some compressor, delay, reverb, just to try to help it fit in together a bit better. Boat bucket I think it was giving me buzzing problems in the speaker, so I turned it down a little bit on the 100 hertz area. Of course, the side chains on the bass, and also took the EQ on the bass. I just cut out the top ends just to make sure. And drums is just compressor. Automation, I don't think there's anything in here. Yeah, the only automation here is just the gain at the end of master. It's this thing here. And that's just a standard thing I do just to once the song's over, sometimes things ring out, and once it's past that point there, I don't want anything to be ringing out, or else it will just be a sudden cut in the sound, and that's a bad thing. So I just do this quick little fade out, um, just to fade out, and that's the only automation I did in this track. So really, it wasn't that hard. I just wanted to play with this. I did also want to play with. Um, I did play with automation a little bit more because this was the first one I did with Ableton 10.1. But I couldn't find anything cool to do with it, and it actually wasn't quite as the stuff that I found wasn't quite as exciting as I thought it was going to be. So unless I was just looking in the wrong place, maybe. So yeah, I just left everything else without automation. Um, Now I needed a title for this, so I'm just gonna take a drink of water here. I just had a weird thought for a title as I was taking that drink of water. Here's the song as a whole again. But the weird thought for a title I had was uh, Flight of the Bucket. I'll put the date in there. June 6th was the date on this one. Because I feel like the shakuhachi feels like a sort of flight feel. And then, of course, the bucket. Actually, how about Flight of the Orange Bucket? That is a big O. Flight of the Orange Bucket. Yeah, I like that. Just write that down in a couple more places. Let me close Ableton as well, because it is getting in my way. Wrong document. Flight of the Orange Bucket. There are a few places that I like to write the title down. One of them is in the document where I keep notes about what I did, what I was planning to do, and sort of things like that. One of them is in that Inkscape document, and Flight of the Orange Bucket. The other one is on this file here, so that we can see that this one has been premiered or is being premiered, and that's the only one that I've made that hasn't been premiered yet. So that will be next week. It's a bit of a longer song, that one. Now this here I will export to the backend for 606. Close that. I like the little melody at the end. Alright, and here's the visualizer script. So I'm just gonna replace all these YY, YMM, all those things with the date of the challenge. 0606. Save. Copy that into a command prompt. That starts to run. And essentially that's just the that's the end of the premiere.